mindset, recreating memory through image making. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being at SPE today. My name is Sephine Milan. It's like Josephine without the Joe, because I don't need no Joe. I'm here to talk to you about my project titled Guilty Until Proven Innocent. Here is a poster from our most recent exhibition of this work. And as I'm sure you want to know, I am focusing on my use of AI imagery in this project. So here is the background of this image is my favorite image from my series, and it is an example of one of the AI images that I used. So here's a little bit about me. I'm a graphic designer and photographer from Los Angeles. I have an independent practice for design and photography. I studied chemical engineering and computer engineering at UCLA. I studied photography and graphic design and web design at Santa Monica College. And here are some screenshots from my website. I studied business management and marketing from LAVC, and I own an events photography company called Great Gatsby Photography. Here's some images from the website. I recently got my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Photography from Sacramento State University. Woo! Shout out to everyone from Sac State who is here tonight. I also started the nonprofit art organization called Pop Goes the Easel. Here's a screenshot from our website. Oh, and look, there's Jordan. Hey, Jordan. So I'm on the board of directors for that as well. But let's get back to the Guilty Project. So yes, this is a memoir. Yes, I've been to jail. Yes, this story is about me. My name used to be Celebration Ferguson. I had to have it legally changed to Sephine Milan because if you went on the internet and Googled my name, this is what would come up. So it's me. And I was in class with Professor Eliza Gregory, who's over there, and I had a homework assignment that was make your own senior project. And I was thinking, well, maybe I should make a project about what it was like to be in jail. But how do you make pictures of something that I can't photograph? It's not like they let me take a camera into jail. That was not an option. So I made it my mission. I was not happy about the homework sometimes. I made it my mission to go out and find a solution to this problem. How do you show people something that you can't take pictures of as a photographer? What? And so I went back to the jail. I took pictures of the outside. I remember this. This was what I saw when the jail bus would take you to court. I remember the sign. I found out these bricks didn't used to be there. These bricks are from the new extension that they added to the jail after I left. Most of the pictures I took were just blurry farmland, which actually was pretty accurate to how I remembered what it looked like out the window of the jail bus, because that was the only time once a month that I got to see the color green. So out of all the pictures that I took myself, this one was the most accurate. This blurry picture of lemons, or whatever those things are, was the most accurate picture that I could take of my memory of jail. I don't remember this. I didn't see the outside of the jail. I saw the inside. I remember stuff like that. So I just said, okay, well, I'll just figure this out. I gathered all the mail and random papers that I accumulated in jail. These are all from my scrapbook from jail. I went on the internet, I found myself and all my friends that I was Not all of them were friends, but many of them were friends that I actually spent time with. I lived with them. They were my apartment building mates in jail. I found pictures of the things that I remember you could purchase if you had snack money. I found some of the things for sale. Apparently, you can buy, stacks of blankets for your jail just online. Most of the images I found were from little eBay listings and things like that. And then I saw some photos that were so similar to the jail that I was in that it could have been the same place, almost exactly the same. And I wrote so that you can see from my perspective where it's almost identical and where it's not. And the same thing here. I photoshopped this. The table was painted green, but I didn't have the color green in my cell. Oh God, I wish I had the color green. Something to look at that wasn't brown. So yes, I photoshopped this, but does it matter if I photoshopped it? I'm trying to replicate my memory. And this is not the same jail bus that I was on. This is the jail bus in San Diego, but it looks pretty damn close to my memory. This actually came from a video that I found on YouTube trying to hire more people to work as cops in the jail that I was at. It was a promo video for my jail, Todd Road Jail in Ventura County. And I actually knew her. She was nice. Shout out to Melgoza. These are more screenshots from that video. I knew that dude too. He was also not too bad. This is a video screenshot from a news channel 3 ABC that I found on YouTube. And this was the same exact courtroom that I was in. It's not the same time, but that was the same cage that I was in. I didn't take that photo, but it's in my show. How else? I can't just walk up to the courthouse with the camera and be like, hey, I'm back. No, it doesn't work that way. These are screenshots that I found on YouTube about news reports that I remember watching from the inside of my cell, looking at that TV all the way across the room, seeing COVID, the world is ending, ha 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 ha, world ended for me a long time ago, but these are the same news things that I was seeing from my perspective in jail, and I was seeing that we were dying. People like me, who weren't found guilty of anything yet, I was still waiting for trial, were dying. It was a death sentence suddenly. If you shoplifted, you're dead. You stole a car, you're dead. And we were seeing this through the window, on the TV in the back. And so this is part of my memory. The toilet in the background, that's not AI, that's not a real photo either. That's actually a video game graphic, and this is the only image in my show that has been requested for purchase so far. But this is not a photo at all. This is basically a digital sculpture that somebody used. So if you have like a Toy Story style animation, you have a jail toilet. And this was the most accurate jail toilet picture I could find. And it's not even a real photo. One of the things I remembered most was the color blue. Because it was the color of the door. Every time you got food, it goes through this little slot. Every time you get like an aspirin, it goes through the slot. The slot, looking through the slot of this door, and looking at the back of the door, looking through the window to the TV, seeing the world end as COVID is announced. I saw the back of that door, and I found this picture, and I was saying, that's not how I remember it. The paint is fresh. It's only fresh on the other side. On the prisoner's side, it looks rusty. It looks more like this. But this wasn't right. It was the wrong color. It wasn't really peeling the same way. And I was like, okay, how about never doing Google? What if I just find a door? So in the dark room at my university, there was this door. It was the right color, but it's not peeling either. And I was like, should I just like pick at it until it looks the way I remember it? And I was thinking, no. What if I get a picture of a door on the internet, and then I'll like Photoshop it with the rust? And I was like, dude, none of these are real. None of them. And even if I could take a camera back into my cell and take a picture of my door, it's not going to look the way it did when I was there, because That was almost 6 years ago, and I'm sure it's rusted a lot more since then. So, I used AI. Shoot me! But I used AI, and I bounced images between Midjourney, I bounced them off of ChatGPT, I found sample images on Google, some of which themselves were AI sample images, and I combined them all in the entire Adobe suite, and it took hours for each one of these until it looked as close as I could remember, because nothing else came close. But this did. This is what I remember. And if I had to use AI to make it, then I will. And if that means I'm not a photographer anymore, then so be it! Because all I care about is getting you to understand what it's like when the only color you get to see is blue. This wasn't as accurate as a real photo would have been. A real one wouldn't have been so curly. It would have been worn away by the hands and the cheeks and the legs and the arms and the bodies and the flesh of the prisoners on the other side, and me watching TV through the little window all the way across to the other side of the jail. This was the closest that I could get. The outside looked nothing like I remembered, because I didn't remember the color green. Here's another AI image that I made. What the underside of the bunk on top of you would look like to wake up every morning and you see that and it drips on your face and there's nothing you can do about it. I could have taken a picture of a random cement ground and used that, but why? Does it matter? It's not like you don't know what cement grounds look like. But this AI image, which is imperfect and surreal, because in the early stages of AI, when these images were made, this was as real as it could get. Now in the future, you won't be able to tell the difference between an AI photo, realistic image, and a real photo. But maybe it doesn't always matter. In my context, did it matter if the picture of the ground was a real photo or an impressionistic AI image? The bricks, does it matter if I show you yet another picture of a white brick wall? No. But this AI image, which looks fake, symbolizes how I felt. This fantasy version is how I felt, that I'm not in jail. This isn't happening to me. This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real. And you know what? It's not meant to be real. It's meant to be memory. And memory is not real. This one makes me laugh because if you didn't know what this picture means, you would think it's just any other steel picnic table. But this AI generated an image of a corner of a steel picnic table in the jail. To me, I remember seeing people's hair grabbed, their heads thrown down, and bam, onto corners just like these. And I don't care if it's real or not, because one day they forgot to cut the orange, and I treasured it. I kept the orange until it dried up into a little ball, and I had that orange until the day I left. It's AI because it doesn't need to be real. It can't be real anyways. I took this work and I went wild. I'm just gonna zoom through this shit. Sorry, my French. The first exhibition was with the Sacramento State University Photography Studio students. That's me. We each got one picture. This is my one picture. I also got a little wacky sculpture thing. This is people looking at the one picture. The next one, I started a pop-up art show nonprofit organization called Pop Goes the Easel. And our first show was a pop-up group exhibition called Light Left Behind at the Warehouse Artist Lofts in Sacramento. There's a lot of Sac State students here. And I got 3 pictures on the wall. And then next one, ephemera at the Futures Explored Film and Media Building in Sacramento. I got 5 pictures on the wall. And then I had my first solo show at the R.W. Witt Gallery at Sac State University. Here's me in my case of IKEA frames. Oh look, there's Eliza. And it was a big success. People really resonated with these things. People were telling me, oh, I just got out of jail last week. You're the first person I've told. Students at Sac State, lots of them. And people were saying, oh, I was in jail and I never told any of my friends and family because, you know, of all the stigma behind it. And people said, my dad said that, you know, he never wanted me to know what the inside of the jail looked like, and he didn't let me visit, and now I know. And another person said that their dad was a cop who worked at the jail, and she says she never understood what he had to go through to be a cop working at a jail. And people were crying. But that's not all. We're not done yet. We have more shows coming up, and this is just the beginning. But before I can talk any more about the Guilty Project, I want to address the elephant in the room, the dangers of AI. They are real, they exist, and they will only get more dangerous. This is a deep fake that somebody made of me without my permission. Thanks, Ron. This is a deep fake I made of my cat, and I didn't get his permission either. As my friend, role model, and mentor, Matthew Ralston said in my Q&A with him at Art Center, to summarize, as image makers, whether you are a photographer or an AI artist or something else, you are obligated to understand that imagery can be used for good. Imagery can be used for evil. Doesn't matter if it's AI or photograph. AI is not going away. So if you want it to be used for good, do it. Images can hurt people, or they can help people. It's up to you. Take my example. How much time do I have left, guys?
Negative.
Negative, okay. Well then, I'll just breeze through the rest of these. Take my example. Whether or not you think I should have used AI, you're listening to me now, and now you can read all my infographics about how fucked up this is. Okay, save the world, please. Somehow, help. If you want to see my new shows, follow me. In December, we've got a show in Sacramento. My book will be for sale at the SF MoMA. Thanks to my residency with the Cala Art Institute. If you want to get a mugshot, or your own mugshot, it's up to you. I'm going to have more stuff coming out. In January, we're having our first art exhibition in Southern California at my dock. I live on a boat, so we've got permission to use the dock as a venue. That'll be in January. And I also have a band. We write protest songs. And here's the nonprofit. There's Doug. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.